everybody.
Morning.
Welcome to Ono Anime again.
Yeah.
My name's Mark.
I'm Patrick.
And this is our
Day one recap.
Day one recap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Day one was Friday. I think it's already starting to blur together.
Well, let's jump into it.
Yeah. We started with breakfast. No.
Yeah.
Let me flip back my massive legal pad notes here.
The first thing we went to was Viz Media.
Hang on. Before Viz, we did go to the exhibit hall, the dealer's room.
Okay, I didn't know we were going to be talking about that.
Oh, yeah, you got to talk about that. There was a lot of fun stuff in there. The exhibit hall is a lot more than a dealer room, like at a normal convention. Is where all of the big licensing companies kind of like shovel their shit at you in a good way. I think the thing that stuck out to me most in the exhibit hall was Viz's Thanks for 30 Years wall. They have this massive wall going up probably 30 feet high. That was just a whole bunch of shikishi, the signboards from artists that they've published saying, hey, congrats on 30 years. Well, that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Pody Canyon's booth was also really awesome.
Yeah, they got the Hibike Euphonium stands.
Yeah.
The full-size.
They're hawking the special edition Blu-rays this year.
Yeah.
And
they hired some pretty good-looking cosplayers to be the girls, too. That was nice.
I always like their booth because it's just, they have their names spelled out in lanterns. Yeah. That's always cool.
It's pretty freaking Japanese.
Yeah. The lines were insane this year.
Like always,
Crunchyroll's line, they had to cap it every 10 minutes. Because
the fire marshal was getting upset at them.
Yep. Good Smile's line is long enough to where you probably are never going to get anything.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, they said it was 40% bigger this year, and I think
tell.
they were telling the truth. It seems, I mean, it always seems absolutely massive, but there's
I think we've probably seen like 10% of it.
Yeah.
There's a bunch
lot
of things
stuff
just kind of like hidden in there that we'll have to go back time and time again to see if we can find.
I'm convinced that you would just have to spend the entire convention in there if you wanted to see everything, because it's just so much
and
stuff.
on top of that, like the people do like live events. So walking around, we were in there. If you watch our live stream on Facebook, you might have heard in the background somebody had a live band doing like Vocaloid covers. That was awesome. Then Jam cool. Project showed up at Daisuke's booth for like a photo op and stuff like that, and that shit's going on all day, every day. It's pretty cool.
That's the big difference between AX's exhibition hall and everywhere else. Basically, is that there's a lot of live programming going on at all the big industry booths that are all up front. So that's always fun. I like that aspect of AX a lot. Crunchyroll had to move their stage outside.
Apparently they're too loud every year. They normally have a live DJ and stuff, and now they're even more loud because they aren't in the hall anymore. They literally
have DJs on their stage whenever people aren't talking.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty
it's
great.
like all the time. So if you walk by their booth, it's just like a constant dance party, which is pretty cool.
It's fun.
All right, let's jump into the panels. First one that we had was Viz Media, publisher of manga and recent video Blu-ray stuff as well. So they, like everyone else that we saw today, talked a lot about the shit that they're doing at this convention, which is hilarious because it takes like a fucking hour.
Yeah, pretty much every industry panel, it's always kind of like half an hour of masturbatory.
So you guys can just assume that everyone that we're going to talk about today did that, because they did.
They did.
But in terms of announcements, they actually had a couple very exciting manga announcements.
Absolutely.
First up, we got a shoujo manga called The Water Dragon's Bride. I've never heard of that before. I don't know if you've read that or seen it.
I haven't read it, but I have heard good things about it just on Tumblr and Twitter and such.
Yeah. The one that I'm probably most excited about, they are licensing Gundam Thunderbolt, which you guys probably remember us talking about on the podcast a while ago. They adapted into a 4-part web series that was really good, and the manga is also really good. So I'm very excited to have that in print. They are printing Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, which you said you've heard good things about?
Yeah, it's apparently, or at least the anime is apparently really good. I've been meaning to watch some of it, but I haven't because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! No offense to Yu-Gi-Oh! But
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Some other things kind of, after 5 Ds.
Yeah. They are going to start republishing Rurouni Kenshin they called them 3-in-1s, but they're just omnibus volumes. They licensed Dragon Ball Super, which is a big deal.
Pretty big. Not only that, but they're going to have it for free online. At least the latest chapter. That's what I got out of it. I think probably like the last week or two are going to be free online, and then the back issues you'll have to pay.
I might as well get it out of the way now. They announced 3 Shonen Jump titles free at viz.com/Shonen Jump. Dragon Ball Super, Boruto, the manga, and Tokyo Ghoul Jack. So 3 really popular, really good manga.
This has been on top of things for a long time. I guess that's why they're celebrating 30 years.
Yeah.
I guess that'll do it.
They are re-releasing Revolutionary Girl Utena in a special box set.
I will be buying the shit out of that.
I probably will buy that too. It looked really good.
I haven't read the manga. I love Utena. I love most of Ikuhara's things. I hear that it's a little less homosexual and a bit more heterosexual.
Oh, I don't like that.
Which is a shame, given the fact that Utena is very, very gay.
Yeah.
Just at its core.
It's going to come with posters, a lot of extras, and it's like a bigger trim, so it's going to be like an XL book, which is pretty awesome. As far as Blu-ray releases that they have coming up, they announced Sailor Moon Crystal Part 1 is up for pre-order.
Yep.
If you like that, I'm going to wait for Season 3.
What they did announce with that is the dub for their redone original Sailor Moon is doing Crystal.
They're carrying the
cool.
cast over, which is
I think everybody expected that, but it's still good enough.
Bleach is coming to Blu-ray for the first time. That's also a pretty big deal because I know people have been waiting for that.
They got the first 27 episodes in one go, and it's got premium packaging. It's still 4:3 aspect ratio. It looks like a really good release.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to buy it, but it looks like a good release.
They also said that they have there is an absolute fuck ton of free manga to read online. Viz.com/shonenjump. I definitely will be taking advantage of that, especially with the ones that we already said.
I have a subscription that I haven't used. I need to fix that. I think I bought that about this time last year, probably.
And then the last thing that they did was we knew already that they had licensed One Punch Man for Blu-ray release, but they announced the English cast. So Moomin Rider is Robbie Draymond, Sonic is Eric Scott Kimmerer, Genos is Zach Aguilar, and Saitama is Max Middleman. And then they kind of just went through like their self-introductions, and they're all very.
I hadn't heard of Max Middleman by name, but then apparently from everybody who heard the dub said he's fucking amazing.
I'll talk about that a little bit later. Toonami actually it factors into that at some point.
But he was also the main character in the Aniplex dub of Your Lie in April, which if you've seen that dub. It's good. It's very good.
It's good. So you move on to Aniplex?
I think that was it for that. We went back to the dealer room for a bit. That was more of the same. I bought some Daisuke goods, some pen lights there behind me. I'm sure we'll talk about those tonight.
I bought the first HBK Euphonium Special Edition Blu-rays.
I also bought Anthem of the Heart from Aniplex, which is I really wanted to see that, so that's good. So I guess let's move on to Aniplex in America. Like we said, they started with a little, or actually no, we were a little late getting into this one because the line was insane.
Yeah, but we
didn't miss anything.
We didn't miss any announcements.
Pretty much, they pulled a Sony at E3, and all they did was just announcement. That was the whole panel, which was fine by me.
This will be a running theme through most of yesterday's discussion. We're recording this the morning after. AX really fucking up on the technical difficulties to the point where they were preventing people from. Thanks, Claude. We're fucking recording, dude.
Chips.
They fucked up so much technical difficulties that they were beginning to prevent people from showing the stuff that they wanted to show in their panel, which to me is absolutely unforgivable because that's what people paid money to come see.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
But anyway, that'll factor into the later panels, especially Crunchyroll and Toonami for me. So let's just talk about their announcements.
They started. I think probably the first half of the panel was stuff we already knew. They just ran a rapid fire through Plastic Memories, the Persona 3 movie, Charlotte, the Madoka TV box set, Dokusei, the Asterisk War dub. Although they did show a trailer for the dub.
They did show a trailer for the dub. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a show that, like you said, could probably end up on Toonami at some point. I think that would be a good hope for that.
Well. They'd have to put it in like an earlier slot, I think, because it's definitely more of a Bleach Naruto fan type of show.
I like it. It's good. I think it's a fun show. As far as announcements go, they brought out the fact that they have the rights for Kiznaiver. We knew that already because it's Trigger. Like they have most rights for Trigger shows. But that means that they're going to be bringing Kiznaiver on Blu-ray at some point. And then they also announced that they have acquired the rights for Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Because Funimation recently lost those rights.
They sure did.
So that is going to be on Crunchyroll.
Yes.
And that will appear later in the Crunchyroll panel when we're talking about that.
Which is awesome. I'm so glad because I think it was actually on Hulu for a while, and Hulu's big exodus happened, I think, only like 2 weeks ago, and they lost that one, which is definitely one of the bigger bigger loss is the fact that Brotherhood isn't available for streaming anywhere right now.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks.
And now it being on Crunchyroll is pretty great. I think you could probably take the next one.
Yeah, the next one was Owari Monogatari, which was also kind of, we knew that was going to happen. They've released all the other Monogatari series box sets. That's pretty much everything they announced is for fall. So after that, I think they went right into Erased. Where,
the first Erased volume is coming on October 1st this year.
They actually released the dub trailer for that, I think, like earlier
They released
this week.
it earlier this week, yeah. And then the second volume.
Cast. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's every single person in that dub is a recognizable name. And then, they're releasing God Eater on Blu-ray later this year and also January 2017.
Yeah. And then they had their big announcement, which didn't go over so hot. Was they brought out the I don't know, was he the president, or I think he was Johnny Nada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out to announce Akiba Fest in Little Tokyo.
Oh yeah, I didn't write anything down.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't write anything down because if you don't live in LA, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
But basically, they're doing their own like festival convention type thing in Little Tokyo called Akiba Fest, where the point is they want to bring the otaku subculture of Akihabara to LA for a couple days. So that'll be in October. If you live out here in LA, that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna fly back over for it.
Yeah.
I think, not a lot of people were about that.
Yeah. Alright, so the next panel was in the same room. We just kind of hung out.
Moved up a few rows.
Crunchyroll. So they started out by
talking about themselves,
telling us a lot of things that we already knew. So let's just skip right to the announcements. They got the male idol show B Project for streaming this season, summer. They have
I don't know much about that, but hey, good on them.
Highly anticipated, I know by you, and also pretty anticipated by me, new game from Yoga Kobo.
It felt like that was a Funimation pickup for a while because I knew a lot of people were clamoring for it, and normally if there's no announcement this late. Yeah. So, super relieved that happened.
They picked up a show called Hitori no Shita, The Outcast.
I think that I had read earlier in the day somebody picked up like
Crunchyroll
had picked up like a Taiwanese thing. Maybe that's it because I somehow completely missed that.
Maybe the biggest announcement of all the convention, they picked up Bananya.
Yes,
I'm super fucking excited to watch Bananya.
It's a huge deal.
They picked up
major key
Hybrid Heart. I can't remember what that was. What is that?
Hybrid Heart is the titty fighting anime.
Oh, right.
That's the one where people have like the girls have these like mech suits or whatever and they fight, and then the guy shows up and somehow he powers them up by touching the suits. Hopefully it's uncensored.
As we said before, they did pick up Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. The thing that they announced that we didn't know before was that the sub and the dub is going to be on Crunchyroll. So that's good news.
The dub was pretty solid. It ran
on... Dub was good.
It ran on Toonami like right when Toonami came back, I think.
Pretty much the same cast as the first Full Metal Alchemist. So they announced some new manga. They're picking up the Grim Reaper and an Argent Cavalier, and also a title called Sukedachi 09. I didn't really... Grim Reaper and an Argent Cavalier didn't really catch me, but the premise of Sukedachi 09 is that apparently in the near future, the Japanese government has reenacted a supposed feudal Japanese law where if someone murders someone and they catch them, there's a squad that's sent out to murder them back in the exact same conditions that they murdered the original victim.
Hammurabi's Law, the anime.
Yeah, I just that premise sounds really awesome, so I'm definitely going to check that out when that goes up. They showed a short promo for this Verve service that they announced earlier this month.
I don't think we covered that in an episode, but it's basically their parent company is branching out and they're putting together I guess it's streaming. I don't even know what
it's like an amalgamation of a bunch of different streaming services that haven't really been in one place all at the same time.
Like Nerdist, Geek and Sundry,
Crunchyroll, Nerdist, Geek and Sundry, CISO, Cartoon something.
Oh, was it Cartoon Hangover? I think.
Yeah, Cartoon Hangover. There was like one or two other things in there, but like essentially it's all those like properties, but with Crunchyroll being like the number one, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But I'm definitely going to be subscribing to it because I've been wanting to subscribe to CISO for a long time, and I already have a Crunchyroll subscription. So
I've been meaning to watch more Geek and Sundry things than just the Critical Role cast. So.
Yeah. And then they kind of dropped a huge bombshell, and they brought out their fucking CEO, which you said that you don't think that he's ever been in a panel before.
I know, I have not seen him at a Crunchyroll panel.
But they announced that they're going to be licensing, dubbing, and releasing anime on Blu-ray and DVD in the United States for the first time.
Finally.
And they also announced some titles that they've already acquired for that, and they are pretty crazy. First of all, they have Gintama, which that has never received a home video release of any kind.
It had a DVD release.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have a Blu-ray release now, thank God. Free, I'm assuming that will just be the first season because Funimation has already released the second season. The new Berserk series, Twin Star Exorcists, Myriad Colors Phantom World.
Don't forget Big Order.
And Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
Cabaneri is the big one because I hadn't even thought about a disc release for that because it's obviously the streaming rights are Amazon.
Amazon doesn't have they don't have a throughway to that, so I guess Crunchyroll is the next best thing, which is good for them.
I wonder if that means that they're going to get Battery as well.
I hope so.
Probably. They're both no Itamina, so that's really cool. I'm super relieved that they're doing that because any more competition I feel for us as a consumer is a great thing. Drives down prices probably.
Not to mention Crunchyroll has pretty much done everything right since day one.
So far so good. They're all anime fans first and not a corporation like Funimation.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is where we split.
Yeah.
So
you want to go into yours first? Because I want to hear about the Toonami shit because
short.
I still don't know.
So I went to the Toonami panel. Capacity crowd, which I was surprised at. A lot of people like Toonami, and for good reason. Their first announcement was that they are going to be airing One Punch Man starting July 16th. They showed a short trailer for the dub. It sounds fantastic. They are doing another Intruder event this year, Intruder 3, starting in November. They showed a short teaser for that. They teased a couple things with Samurai Jack, including like a very long featurette with Gendy Tartakovsky, the art director, the lead writer, Phil Lamar, the voice of Samurai Jack, a ton of stuff. It looks really fucking good. Like, it looks about as good as you could ever hope a Samurai Jack sequel to be, like 10 years after the fact. And then they brought out the vice president of production, IG. And they dropped a bombshell on the crowd that I don't think most of them really got how crazy it was. But they announced that in addition to all this shit with Fully Cooley 2 that they're doing with Production IG, they announced that they are going to be doing they called it a micro-series, I think of 5 episodes, starting sometime in 2017, directed by Mamoru Oshii. And the story behind that is way back when Toonami licensed Fully Cooley for the first time, DeMarco and the VP of Production IG kind of made nice and have been in professional contact ever since and have been kind of desperate to be doing something again. And obviously when Toonami got canceled, that kind of didn't happen. But when they came back, Production IG came to them and said, "Hey, we want to do something together again." And since they are both like friends, they were like, "Okay, well, we need to figure out something." So originally, Mamoru Oshii did a bump for Adult Swim, and they showed it, and it was really fucking good and really Mamoru Oshii. And then I guess that went well enough that Mamoru Oshii wanted to direct some sort of full-length thing for Toonami, and so that's going to be happening.
Here we go. Yeah.
As far as the reason I went to the panel, Fully Cooley 2, they didn't really give any new information about it, mostly because tomorrow is the Production IG and Fully Cooley panels. So I'm sure we'll be getting a lot of new information then. She couldn't really give anything, but like Toonami, they reiterated the fact that they had been trying to make a Fully Cooley sequel for a decade, and only since Toonami came back and Production IG finally acquired the rights to Fully Cooley was it.
It's pretty awesome to know that it's been that long in reality. The making.
Yeah,
they're going to treat that baby with care. That's sure.
This is where AX's fuck-ups reached a near complete zenith, because during the Q&A session for this convention, for this panel, the power for the PA system went out. They're probably using some sort of active speakers. I don't know. Some shit happened and prevented them from using PA system. So basically, DeMarco and the rest of the crew had to yell to the audience. for like 15 minutes. Then they were like, okay, at the end of the panel, they were planning on showing the first 5 minutes of the One Punch Man dub, which I was really excited to see because the trailer looked great. And then DeMarco essentially had to get on mic and say, well, guys, we can't show the first 5 minutes of One Punch Man. Blame AX. And then the room just kind of turned into like a riotous scene, and that was not... I don't envy the AX staff at that point.
That's embarrassing.
It's kind of inexcusable. Like, that's like one of the main attractions for that panel, and they couldn't show it because AX fucked up. And that's... You can't do that. Like, sorry. Anyway, so that's it for that panel. Toonami continues to be...
They're doing good.
About
they're doing good
as
work.
best as you could possibly hope something like them to be. So they're really awesome.
Now, while Mark was there, I stayed in the same room once again for the Good Smile Company panel. Good Smile Company is, of course, the figurine company. They have Max Factory, Bomb Press, so all these crazy umbrella companies. And they work very closely with Trigger & Co. under Ultra Secret Pictures, same people. So their panel was made up of 5 people. They had a person who writes the blogs for Japan. They had let me check my notes here. They had the president, Aki. They had the U.S. lead for planning, who was there more or less as a translator. She didn't say much. Then Mamitan, the one who does all the U.S. community gear, and then the U.S. leader planner as well. So they opened up with a pretty neat retrospective video that they showed in Japan for the Nendoroid 10th anniversary party. That was pretty neat. It was really cute, just a Miku song, and it showed all them leading up, of course, to the announcement of the 600th Nendoroid, which is another saber. But
not surprising.
Of course.
At least it's not another Miku.
Yeah, this was a pretty low-key panel for the most part. In fact, I don't think they announced anything new until the end, but it was really informative about the company itself. Aki especially went on a couple stories about how they started as just like 2 people in a small apartment, and they would sit there and eat and drink while working and stuff like that. And they grew. They kind of kept the same family atmosphere. He told another fun story about how the racing team started. He said a friend, but I'm pretty sure it was him, went up to him and said, "Hey, I want to race cars. How do you think I should do that?" And he's just like, "Well, you need a sponsor." And at the time, Miku was getting big with the Nendoroids and everything, so they figured, all right, we'll put Miku on a car and drive it around, and that'll attract sponsors. And then it didn't, because there's no crossover. So he's just like, hang on, I know some people who like Miku. And that's how the Good Smile Racing sponsorship thing happened, where you go to Good Smile's website and you sponsor the race car with a package, and you get all the cool Miku stuff every year. That was pretty neat to hear about. The entire last probably 3/4 of the panel were Q&A, and while every question was super boring, it was pretty much, do you have any plans for this figure? They did say a lot more than I expected. Where first question was about a Trigger Nendoroid series, and he goes, "What Trigger series?" And the guy goes, "Ninja Slayer," and Aki just goes, "Oh ho 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 ho, no more."
Yeah,
so
they've already made a lot of Ninja Slayer figures, so they don't need to make any more.
Yeah, there's more coming. One guy, really cool question, asked if there would be any older anime series having Nendoroids come out. And they said, in Japan those don't really sell, but we recognize that a lot of older series are very popular in the U.S. And the guy, when he asked the question, actually mentioned Tenchi Muyo and Oh My Goddess, and Aki was like, "That's actually a pretty good idea. We might see what we can do with that." So they are open to requests from the U.S. crowd, especially. And one of the announcements that they did have in the same vein is, even though they can't release them in Japan, they are finally doing a Naruto Nendoroid line, which I don't care about, but it's pretty cool that Good Smile is, even though they can't do it in Japan, they'll do something just for the U.S. And they're also doing a Nathan Drake Nendoroid.
Yeah.
That's neat.
They make a lot of money in the U.S., so that's good that they're respecting the market.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There were several examples that they told where happened only because the U.S. fans kept on requesting. But one thing that I took apart from the Q&A session is everybody at Good Smile Company really likes Overwatch.
That's not surprising.
God willing, they will get together and with Blizzard and make some Overwatch awesome shit happen.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that was pretty much it for that.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it for the night.
Pretty much it for the night, yeah. We went to Big Wings, and then we, we went
home. Boy, did we ever go to Big Wings.
Ugh, never going there again.
Yeah.
Looks like a place called Big Wings might not be the best place to eat.
I'm surprised. I thought it would be good.
I mean, the food was good. The service was just shit.
That Buffalo Mac was delicious. It just
My Yelp
never
review,
ended.
0 out of 5.
0 out of 5.
However Yelp does it.
Great.
Anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. We'll make another one in like 12 or 13 hours, hopefully.
Yeah. Depends on how dead we
are. Today's pretty low impact, so I think we're
low impact, but 4 hours of that low impact is a show.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I'm still very fucking excited. It's going to be awesome.
So in 2 hours, we're going to go see Aqua, and I assume watch the first episode of Love Live Sunshine.
Yeah.
Again, in my case, but with the cast, and that should be good. Shogeki no Soma's out. We'll probably I'm watching that at some point today.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, we'll be back soon, guys. Until then, keep an eye on our Facebook page because we will definitely be broadcasting live again at some point today.
Mm-hmm.
We had some fun yesterday doing that from the dealer's room, so keep an eye out on that. We'll be on Facebook. We'll be on Twitter as always. And until then, stay cool.